What's going on, guys? It's Hayden, and I'm bringing you a sort of update video, but a full rules breakdown of the VGC World Cup #2 that the ISL is going to be running this year. Canva won't let me record without a camera now, so I'm kind of. Here's our face reveal. I think this is the first time I've ever done this on YouTube, so I guess here we go. Let's jump into these rules real quick. As for the draft will be randomized and will be in snake format. I went over this in greater detail in the last video, but it basically just means round 1, you go 1 through 10, and then second round, you go 10 through 1, and then you keep going back and forth until the end of the draft. And for the draft, each coach will have 100 points to draft 10 Pokemon each. We usually do in the ISL 100 points to draft 9 to 11 Pokemon to give teams a little bit of a variety. But jumping into something like VGC, we kind of want to just follow what Wolfie and his league is doing for at least this first turnaround, and then maybe for future VGC full seasons or just VGC tournaments in general. We will be doing probably our own thing moving forward after that. As for the draft, it's going to be a slow draft, which will start on Thursday, October 23rd at 8 p.m. EST. That's kind of so I live in Eastern Time. I usually work well past 4. That's normal when I get off, but lately it's been more 6, 7. So 8 p.m. start time, just so I can help monitor it. We will be having other mods helping as well. And this also gives people on the West Coast, especially in Utah, because we have a bunch of people in Utah on this Discord, that just gives them this like time basically to draft during the week. But as for the time portion, it will start. The 2-hour timer portion of the draft will start on Saturday, October 25th at 10 a.m. EST. That's basically just again, so people on the West Coast, Utah, they can have plenty of time, not really wake up too early on a Saturday, like 8 a.m. ain't too bad, it's better than 6, and they won't really be affected by the timer as much. Alright, so each team will have 6 free agent swaps that must be used by the end of week 3, which will be around November 17th. Obviously, if the draft runs farther than anticipated, this is going to, at the end of week 3 will basically be Thanksgiving, and we'll have special rules around that, around Thanksgiving, Christmas, where we'll probably combine those into 2 weeks, give a little bit more of a break for everyone celebrating those holidays. As for trades, each team can also trade up to 4 Mons to other teams until week 3. So the trades do not count towards your free agent swaps. So you get 6 free agent swaps, then you get 4 trades to other teams. Keeping up with that, for the grace period, there will be a 24-hour grace period with unlimited free agent transactions for each team that won't count towards the 6. However, keeping up with that, for the grace period, there will be a 24-hour grace period with unlimited free agent transactions for each team. However, if you trade between teams, they will still use one of the 4 trades you have. So if you trade a Mon during grace, you will lose one of your 4 trade transactions. But if you just drop one into free agency, you can do that literally as many times as you want. If you draft, we're going to draft 10 Pokemon, you can swap them out at the end of the draft if you so choose. But you can only do up to 4 trades no matter what during the season, including grace period. As for our format on Showdown, we will be using VGC Reg H for all battles. That's how these tiers were set up. And if you're not familiar with VGC, You are not allowed to have duplicate items. That means you can only have one leftovers, one Eviolite, one choice scarf, life orb, expert boat, whatever you think of. You can only have one of those items. And then as for battles, you will have 1 week to complete each battle. Um, it's basically the same for every draft league that I've ever been a part of. And this just also goes back to the Thanksgiving and Christmas thing. Thanksgiving, we will probably give 2 weeks to, and then for Christmas, we will just combine Christmas and New Year's week into one and make those 2 weeks into one full week. But that will be towards the playoffs, probably towards the championship if I have my schedule right. But let's not get ahead of ourselves quick. As for the battles, I should have put this later on, but here we are. So just keep this in mind as we are going over the actual points format. Forfeits will count as a 2-0 +4 or -4 win-loss. This increases to 0-2 -8 for the final week. If you get a forfeit win in the final week, it's still 2-0 +4. I just want to make that clear. And if you get a forfeit win to put yourself into playoff position over a team that beats you, we will still, or we're gonna have to talk about it. But we will either make you guys play for the playoff spot, or that team that beat you would get the playoff spot. It's not for sure. Hopefully, it doesn't come down to that. But right now, forfeits are 2-0 or 0-2 +4 -4, and then last week it increases to 0-2 -8. And then for the battles, there will be closed team sheets, so you do not have to tell the other team your actual sets. But there is going to be open Terra preview at the start of each battle. So basically, every single mon on your team can Terra. So if your team was Gengar, Dragonite, Alakazam, Mew, Dugtrio, Clefable, those mons in our fan vote should go vote. Only like 10 of you did. So all you'd have to do is be like, Gengar's Fairy, Dragonite's normal, Alakazam is dark, I guess. Etc. For the last three. You don't have to tell your whole team, just what types they could Terra into. As for the schedule, just like the last World Cup, teams will play one game against each team in their division. Very straightforward. As for the schedule, just like the last World Cup, teams will play one game against each team in their division. Very straightforward. As for the schedule, just like the last World Cup, teams will play one game against each team. And here's what I was alluding to earlier when I was talking about the forfeits. Teams will receive points based off of their results. If you sweep the other team, getting ahead of myself, it's going to be a best-of-3 format. If you sweep the other team, which means you go 2-0, you win the first 2 games, you get +3. Even if you win both of the games with a +4 differential, you do not get +8. You still just get the +3, and then the differential will be used as a tiebreaker later on if we need it. If you go to the third game and you win 2 of them, you get +2. If you go to the third game and you only win 1, you get +1. And if unfortunately you get swept and go 0-2, you don't get any points. You just move on to the next week, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. As for the playoffs, I made this last night when we still only had 15 teams, so you can kind of ignore that one. But we are currently at 18 teams, and I was talking to a couple of other people who should join, so we should be up to 20 by the time Thursday actually rolls around. But if we make it somehow to 30 teams, we will stay with that 14-team playoff format that I showed off in the last video. But if we stay at the 20 teams, or even if we stay at the 18 teams, we will probably have the 10-team playoff for 18, We will either have either 8 or 10 team. I'll have to talk to the mods about it. I don't really like having more than half of the league make playoffs. So we might drop it to 8, but that's just something we got to talk about. And that's kind of it. For this update video, this is a full breakdown of the rules, and basically anything else that maybe people had questions about. The last kind of 30 seconds of this video is going to be us showcasing the 15 teams that signed up before last Friday. So they basically first come. We're basically just going to highlight them at the very end. I wish I could do more, but in these videos, kind of all I can do while also working a full-time job right now. But so that's going to be the end of this video, and then that kind of ends it for this. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. Again, we'll link the Discord in the comments if anyone watching this isn't a part of our Discord and wants to join. And as always, thanks for watching.